If you're a woman over 55 and you've been told that the best thing you can do for your body is walk more and maybe try a yoga class, I need to be honest with you. That advice, while it sounds gentle and reasonable, is the very thing keeping most women our age stuck. Stuck feeling soft, stuck feeling stiff, stuck watching their arms lose shape, their posture round forward, and their confidence quietly slip away year after year. The truth is, you don't need more gentle movement to change how your body looks and feels after 55. You need real tension on your muscles, and you need a smarter way of creating that tension without grinding your joints into dust. That's exactly why a style of strength training built around 3 different types of muscle work in a single set is giving women over 55 results they honestly didn't think were possible anymore. Toned arms, stronger legs, better posture, more confidence in how they carry themselves. And here's the part that surprises most women. It doesn't require heavy weights, and it doesn't require spending an hour in the gym. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what this approach looks like, rep by rep, so there's no confusion. I'm also going to explain why it works so well for our bodies at this stage of life, because once you understand the why, the whole thing just clicks. And please stay with me until the end, because I'm going to share 2 ways to make this even more effective that completely changed my results. My name is Linda Bennett. I'm 66 years old. I live in Asheville, North Carolina with my husband, David. We've been married 38 years. I have 2 grown children and 3 grandchildren who keep me on my feet in the best possible way. I am not a personal trainer. I am not a doctor. I am not a fitness influencer. I'm a woman who spent 33 years working in education, retired at 59, and then looked in the mirror one day and realized that the body looking back at me didn't feel like mine anymore. That was around age 58. I'd spent roughly a decade feeling myself slowly fade, more tired, softer, stiffer in the mornings, less confident in how I looked and moved. I watched my mother lose her mobility earlier than anyone expected. I watched my older sister struggle with joint pain, low energy, and a kind of quiet resignation that scared me more than I like to admit. And I realized I was heading down that same road, not because of bad luck or bad genes, but because I had spent years treating my own health like it was optional, like everyone else's needs came first and mine could wait. What changed for me happened at 60. I stopped waiting. I stopped treating strength as something that belonged to younger women or to women who had always been athletic. I committed to learning how to train my body in a way that actually made sense for where I was, not where I'd been 30 years ago. And little by little, everything shifted. Not overnight, not dramatically, but steadily, honestly, and permanently. The approach I'm going to share with you today is a huge part of what made that shift possible. So let me explain exactly how it works, because it's simpler than you think, and it's more powerful than anything I'd tried before. Here's what most women over 55 get wrong about strength training. They either avoid it entirely because they think it's not for them, or they do it the way they see younger people doing it. Pick up a weight, do a bunch of repetitions, put it down, repeat. And that's not terrible. Any movement is better than none. But after 55, your body has changed in ways that matter. Your recovery is slower. Your connective tissue, the tendons and ligaments that hold everything together, isn't as elastic as it used to be. Collagen production has slowed down. The cartilage in your joints is thinner, and your nervous system doesn't bounce back from stress the way it did when you were 35. So when you just keep doing repetition after repetition with the same approach, you end up with sore joints, mediocre results, and this frustrating feeling that your body simply doesn't respond anymore. But that's not true. Your muscles can absolutely still change. Your arms can still become defined. Your legs can still get stronger. Your posture can still improve. The issue isn't your body's ability to respond. The issue is the strategy. What I learned is that instead of doing more repetitions or using heavier weights, you can do something far more intelligent. You can combine 3 different types of effort within a single set of 9 repetitions. Each type of effort targets your muscles in a different way, and together they create a level of deep, thorough stimulation that regular repetitions simply don't deliver. And because you're using lighter weights the entire time, your joints stay comfortable. Your shoulders, your knees, your elbows, your wrists, they're all protected. Let me walk you through the 9 repetitions so you can see exactly what I mean. The first 3 repetitions are controlled and purposeful with a quick, strong lift. You lower the weight slowly, about 2 to 3 seconds on the way down, and then you press or lift it back up with energy and intention. Not recklessly, not throwing it, but with a firmness that tells your body to wake up. This part activates your nervous system. It signals your muscles to recruit more fibers, including the ones that are responsible for tone, shape, and functional strength. Think of it as flipping on the lights before you start working. The next 3 repetitions are holds. This is where things get interesting. You lower the weight under control, just like before, but on the way back up, you pause. You hold the weight still at the midpoint of the movement, right where the muscle is working hardest. If you're using bands or a cable machine, you hold it at the top, where the muscle is fully shortened and fully engaged. Each hold lasts anywhere from 3 to 10 seconds, depending on where you are in your journey. When I first started, 3 seconds felt like an eternity. Now I hold for 8 to 10 seconds comfortably, and the difference it makes is remarkable. This phase is what creates real, sustained tension in the muscle without needing heavy loads. You're not moving the weight, you're just holding it. And in that stillness, your muscle fibers are working harder than they do during regular movement. Your brain is connecting with the muscle in a way that casual repetitions never achieve. And here's what I love about this part. It also strengthens your tendons and ligaments. Research has shown that static holds increase tendon stiffness and collagen production, which means your connective tissue actually gets stronger and more resilient over time. For women our age, that's not just a bonus, that's protection, that's injury prevention, that's freedom. The final 3 repetitions are slow. You lower the weight for a full 3 seconds. You lift it back up for another 3 seconds. Full range of motion, complete control, no momentum, no shortcuts. This is the part that finishes the job. It floods the muscle with metabolic stress, it exhausts every remaining fiber, and it creates a deep burn that tells you something real just happened. Not pain, not damage, just honest, thorough work. That's 9 repetitions in 1 set. 3 quick and strong, 3 held in place, 3 slow and controlled. And when you do it properly, 1 set feels like 3 ordinary sets combined. The first time I completed a full set this way, with just a pair of light dumbbells, I put them down and thought, how is this so much more effective than what I was doing before? The answer is that it addresses all 3 ways your muscles are stimulated to change. The strong repetitions recruit the fibers that give you tone and shape. The holds extend the time your muscles spend under real tension. The slow repetitions create metabolic stress that signals your body to adapt and rebuild. You get all three in one set with a weight that feels manageable and safe. No joint pain, no dread, no white knuckling through a set that feels like it might hurt you. Now let me explain why this matters so much specifically for women over 55. Because this isn't just a clever way to exercise. It solves the exact problems that hold most of us back. First, the holds. When you hold a weight in a fixed position, you create constant, steady tension without needing a heavy load. That's critical for us. Our joints don't recover the way they used to. Our shoulders, our knees, our wrists, they need to be respected, not punished. Holds give your muscles everything they need while keeping your joints safe. And over time, they make your tendons and ligaments genuinely stronger, which means fewer aches, fewer injuries, and more confidence in your movements. Second, this approach dramatically improves your connection between your mind and your muscles. When you hold a weight still and feel it working, you're training your brain to recognize and activate the right muscles at the right time. That connection carries over into every future repetition, every future workout, and honestly, every future movement in your daily life. You stand taller because the right muscles are firing. You move with more control because your body knows what to engage. It's subtle, but it changes everything. Third, and this is the part that really convinced me, this approach gives you the most thorough muscle stimulation possible in the least amount of time with the least amount of joint stress. For a woman who has a life, who has grandchildren to keep up with, who has a home to manage, who doesn't want to spend 2 hours in a gym feeling lost and sore, this is the answer. You can get more done in 35 to 45 minutes than most people get in twice that time, and you walk out feeling strong instead of broken. So how do you actually put this into a workout? Let me give you a practical picture. For your upper body, you might start with an incline press using dumbbells or a machine, 3 sets of 9 using the method I just described. Then move to a fly movement, either with cables or bands, another 3 sets of 9 the same way. And finish with a simpler pressing movement or a tricep exercise for 3 regular sets of 8 to 10 repetitions to round things out. For your back, you might do rows using this approach for 3 sets, then pull downs for 3 sets, and finish with a light pullover or a face pull for 3 regular sets. Straightforward, effective, and your back will feel open, engaged, and alive afterward. For your legs, and I cannot overstate how important leg strength is for women our age, you might start with goblet squats or a leg press, 3 sets of 9 using this method. Then leg extensions for 3 sets, and finish with Romanian deadlifts or a glute bridge variation for 3 regular sets. Your legs and your glutes are what keep you independent. They're what keep you walking confidently, climbing stairs without thinking about it, getting down on the floor to play with a grandchild, and getting back up without assistance. Every set you do for your lower body is an investment in your independence. Now here's the key. You don't need to apply this approach to every single exercise in your workout. Use it strategically. Choose the 1 or 2 exercises per area where you want the most growth, the most change, the most engagement. Apply the method there. And for your remaining exercises, use regular, controlled repetitions. That balance keeps your workouts effective without making them exhausting. Now here's the part I promised you'd want to stay for. 2 ways to take this even further once you're comfortable with the basics. The first is something called a pre-exhaust combination. Here's how it works. You start with an isolation movement using this method. For example, a fly movement for your chest or a leg extension for your legs. You do your 9 focused repetitions. Then, without resting, you move immediately into a compound pressing movement, like a chest press or a squat, for 8 to 10 regular repetitions. Because the target muscle is already deeply fatigued from the first exercise, it has to do more of the work during the pressing movement. Your shoulders and triceps can't take over during the press because your chest is already so thoroughly engaged. Your quads can't hide behind your lower back during the squat because they're already burning. This means the muscle you actually want to develop gets hit harder, and you don't need heavy weight to make it happen. The second technique is a reduction set on your final round. On your last set, after you finish your 9 repetitions and reach the point where you truly cannot do another one with good form, you reduce the weight by about 20 to 30% and keep going until you reach that point again. This pushes your muscles to recruit every single remaining fiber, and it does so at a weight that's even lighter and even safer for your joints. The combination of these 2 techniques with the main approach creates a level of thorough, complete muscle stimulation that I had honestly never experienced before in years of trying different things. And I was doing it with dumbbells that most people would glance at and think weren't heavy enough to make a difference. What I realized, and what changed everything for me, is that the weight on the dumbbell matters so much less than what you do with it, how you control it, how long you hold it, how deliberately you move it. That's where the transformation lives, not in how much you can lift, but in how intelligently you use what you have. I want to be clear about something because I think it matters. I'm not standing here telling you this because I read about it in a magazine or saw it on social media. I'm telling you because I lived it. At 58 years old, I was stiff, tired, and quietly losing confidence in my own body. I didn't feel strong. I didn't feel feminine. I didn't feel like the woman I knew was still in there somewhere. I looked at my mother, who lost her mobility too early. I looked at my sister, who was struggling with the same slow decline. And I decided that was not going to be my story. It doesn't have to be extreme. It doesn't require a gym membership, though having one is perfectly fine. It doesn't require equipment you've never heard of. It requires a set of dumbbells, some resistance bands, a little bit of floor space, and the willingness to show up consistently. That's it. You can start where you are, right where you are. I started with 3-pound and 5-pound dumbbells and 3-second holds. Today, at 66, I train 3 days a week with weights that challenge me. I walk daily, I work on my mobility regularly, and I feel stronger, more confident, and more at home in my body than I did at 50. My posture is better. My arms have definition I didn't have in my 40s. My legs are strong enough to hike with my grandchildren and keep up with them. And I stand taller. Not just physically, but in every way that matters. That's what this is about. It's not about looking 30 again. It's not about competing with anyone. It's about becoming strong, graceful, capable, and fully alive at an age when the world quietly expects you to slow down and accept less. I refuse to accept less, and I don't think you should either. You don't need to wait until Monday. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. You just need to start. Pick up your weights and give your body the respect it has been waiting for. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to feel beautiful. And I promise you, it is not too late.